The Audacity of Black Resilience, How Adversity Becomes Advantage in Entrepreneurship. Good morning, everyone. I'm truly honored to stand before you today, sharing insights from my recent conversation with Angel Heims, a visionary force in Black entrepreneurship and professional development. Angel isn't just another business consultant or motivational speaker. She's a revolutionary thought leader who has fundamentally transformed how we understand success, resilience, and opportunity within communities that have historically faced seemingly insurmountable barriers. Her work transcends simple inspiration. It's backed by compelling data and real world experience that shatters our most deeply held assumptions about what's possible when the odds appear stacked against us. When I first sat down with Angel, I expected to hear familiar narratives about struggle and perseverance. What I encountered instead was something far more profound, a paradigm shift that's quietly but powerfully reshaping the landscape of Black entrepreneurship across America and beyond. Here's the counterintuitive truth that Angel revealed. Despite persistent narratives of barriers and setbacks, Black professionals and entrepreneurs are demonstrating higher levels of optimism, resilience, and self assurance than ever before. In fact, they're often outpacing their counterparts in confidence and willingness to take risks. This isn't just anecdotal, it's backed by rigorous research and is actively redefining what success looks like in communities that have been historically marginalized. Let that sink in for a moment. The very people who have faced the greatest obstacles are now leading in optimism and resilience. The Global Entrepreneurship Monitor's 2023 report highlighted something remarkable that challenges everything we think we know about entrepreneurship. Black entrepreneurs in the United States showed higher confidence and lower fear of failure than their white counterparts. Despite persistent systemic barriers, limited access to capital, and underrepresentation in certain sectors, Black entrepreneurs are displaying extraordinary levels of self assurance. Why is this happening? Angel explained that decades of underinvestment and exclusion actually catalyzed the creation of new support systems and networks specifically designed for Black entrepreneurs. These community driven networks targeted entrepreneurship programs and a laser focus on self assurance and skill building have yielded impressive results. Increased rates of business formation among Black entrepreneurs and a narrowing gender gap in tech entrepreneurship. We're witnessing record growth in Black owned startups and increased representation in technology sectors. This isn't just changing individual lives, it's transforming the entire narrative about Black entrepreneurship and inspiring broader ecosystem reforms. As Angel told me with fire in her eyes, when you've been navigating obstacles your entire life, you develop muscles that others haven't had to build. Resilience isn't just about surviving, it's a competitive advantage in a world where everything is constantly changing. This brings me to the first key insight from our conversation. Resilience and optimism aren't just coping mechanisms, they're powerful assets with tangible market value. Black professionals and entrepreneurs are increasingly leveraging their resilience and self belief to overcome systemic barriers and create new opportunities, even in rapidly changing environments. In our conversation, Angel emphasized that this resilience isn't just about enduring hardship, it's about transforming challenges into opportunities. It's about seeing possibilities where others see only problems. It's about developing an almost supernatural ability to adapt when the ground shifts beneath your feet. The second insight Angel shared is equally powerful and perhaps even more disruptive. You don't need perfect circumstances to start. Many successful entrepreneurs began with limited resources, faced significant failures, and still built thriving ventures by focusing on what works and optimizing their approach as they go. This is particularly relevant in today's uncertain economic climate. Angel shared stories of entrepreneurs who launched businesses during recessions, who started with minimal funding, who faced rejection after rejection, and still succeeded, not because conditions were ideal, but because they refused to wait for ideal conditions. As Angel put it, with a conviction that sent chills down my spine, perfect is the enemy of progress. If you're waiting for all the lights to turn green before you start your journey, you'll never leave your driveway. The most successful entrepreneurs I know didn't have it all figured out. They just had the courage to begin. The National Black MBA Association recently convened a town hall where Black leaders discussed how evolving DEI policies are impacting career advancement and leadership access for Black professionals. What emerged from this gathering wasn't despair about shifting priorities, it was strategic adaptation. The rise of DEI initiatives in recent years, followed by pushback and policy changes, prompted Black leaders to unite and strategize proactively. Through open dialogue, advocacy, and the creation of new strategies for navigating changing workplace cultures, they're developing actionable insights and community driven approaches to professional advancement. This brings me to Angel's third key insight. Community and mentorship don't just support growth, they accelerate it exponentially. Seeking out knowledge, guidance, and support from those with experience, such as building a strong board for your nonprofit or joining networks, can be a game changer for professional and entrepreneurial growth. The Black Entrepreneurship Program's Ecosystem Fund in Canada offers a powerful example of this principle in action. This initiative supports Black entrepreneurs through grants, mentorship, and capacity building initiatives. By addressing historical underfunding, lack of access to business networks, and limited visibility for Black owned businesses, the program has strengthened entrepreneurial ecosystems, increased business launches, and improved sustainability for Black owned ventures. Recognition of systemic barriers led to government and community organizations collaborating to create tailored support structures. The result? Distribution of millions in funding and measurable increases in Black business ownership and success rates. This has led to broader industry recognition of the value of diversity and the need for sustained investment in Black entrepreneurship. What's particularly striking about Angel's perspective is how it aligns with the journey many of us are on, especially those who identify with what we call the soft girl era. Now, if you're not familiar with this term, it's not about aesthetics or trends. It's about a spiritual, emotional, and mental recalibration. For many high achieving Black women, particularly those between 38, 55, there's been a shift from constantly grinding to finally grounding in joy, peace, softness, and self prioritization. After years of leading teams, raising families, holding down households, and carrying communities, many are exhausted and ready for change. Angel's insights about resilience and starting without perfect circumstances speak directly to this journey. They remind us that strength isn't just about pushing through. It's also about knowing when to pause, when to rest, when to say no without guilt. As Angel shared with me, the most revolutionary act for many Black professionals isn't working harder, it's learning to rest without explanation and set boundaries without apology. This is where resilience meets wisdom. It's not about abandoning ambition, it's about redefining it on your own terms. The data shows us something powerful. When Black entrepreneurs and professionals embrace both their resilience and their need for community support, extraordinary things happen. They don't just survive, they thrive. They don't just overcome barriers, they create new pathways that others can follow. Angel emphasized that this isn't just about individual success, it's about collective transformation. When one person breaks through, they create openings for others. When one entrepreneur succeeds against the odds, they change perceptions about what's possible. This is why mentorship is so crucial. As Angel put it, your success becomes a blueprint. Your journey becomes a map that others can follow. In a world that has systematically denied us access, creating that map isn't just helpful, it's revolutionary. In our conversation, Angel shared a powerful affirmation that captures this spirit. I am not just building a business, I am creating legacy, opening doors, and transforming narratives with every step I take. This perspective shifts entrepreneurship from being merely transactional to being deeply transformational, not just for the entrepreneur, but for entire communities. So, what does this mean for you? Whether you're an entrepreneur, a professional, or someone with a dream that seems just out of reach. First, recognize that resilience isn't just something you endure, it's something you can leverage. The challenges you've overcome have equipped you with unique perspectives and capabilities that others may not possess. Second, don't wait for perfect conditions to start. Begin with what you have where you are. Focus on what works, learn from what doesn't, and keep moving forward. Third, seek out community and mentorship. Connect with those who have walked similar paths. Share your knowledge with those coming behind you. None of us succeeds alone. I want to leave you today with a challenge that goes beyond mere inspiration. The data is clear. Black entrepreneurs and professionals are demonstrating unprecedented levels of optimism and resilience. They're not waiting for perfect conditions. They're creating their own opportunities. They're not succeeding despite challenges. They're succeeding because those challenges have forged in them exactly the qualities needed to thrive in uncertain times. Your call to action is this: how will you use your unique strengths and experiences to break through barriers and create new opportunities, not just for yourself, but for your community? What audacious step will you take this week to move forward, even if the path isn't perfect? The world doesn't need more people waiting for permission. It needs more people who understand that adversity, when channeled correctly, becomes advantage. It needs more people who recognize that their struggles haven't disqualified them, they've prepared them. As Angel Heims has so powerfully demonstrated, the future belongs to those who can transform obstacles into opportunities, who can build communities of support, and who recognize that their success isn't just personal, it's a powerful statement about what's possible. Your resilience is not just your survival mechanism, it's your superpower. Your community is not just your support system, it's your catalyst. And your willingness to begin, even without perfect circumstances, is not just courage, it's the very essence of transformation. The revolution isn't coming, it's already here. and it's being led by those who were never supposed to succeed but refused to accept that narrative. Will you join them? Thank you.